Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Leela bringing you series of lectures on the subject digital signal processing. And from today, I'm going to give a lectures on realization of IIR filters. The first lecture is on direct form 1 and 2 realization of IIR filters. And the IIR filters will have the transfer function of the form given by sigma k varying from 0 to capital M bk z power minus k divided by 1 plus sigma k varying from 1 to n ak z power minus k. The transfer function will have both zeros and poles unless the transfer function of FIR filters which have only zeros. So this h of z is split into cascade of two transfer functions h1 of z and h2 of z, and in the block diagram it's written like this. h1 of z and h2 of z, they are connected in cascade. Input to the whole system is x of n and output of the whole system is y of n, and output of the first subsystem is w of n, which is intermediate output. And for realizing it in direct form 1, we choose h1 of z and h2 of z such that h1 of z consists of all zeros of h of z and h2 of z has all poles of h of z. So our h1 of z consisting of all zeros of h of z is sigma k0 to m kvk z power minus k, which is the numerator of h of z, and h2 of z consists of poles of h of z, which is 1 over 1 plus sigma k1 to n ak z power minus k. So let us take this h1 of z. We know that h1 of z is the first subsystem which has the output w of n and input is x of n. So the transfer function h1 of z is w of z divided by x of z, transformed output of the system to the ratio to the transformed input w of z by x of z. And we have chosen that as equal to sigma bk z power minus k for k varying from 0 to capital M. So expand a summation, we get k0, we have b0 z power 0 which is 1, and b1 z power minus 1, etc. Last term is bm z power minus m. Then cross multiply it, we get the expression for w of z given by this. Take the inverse Z transform of this to solve for the output of the first subsystem W of n. So W of n is B0 into x of n, which is inverse Z transform of x of z. B0, B1, B2 are all constants, plus B1 into inverse Z transform of z power minus 1 x of z is x of n minus 1, and continuing like this we have the last term Bm into x of n minus m. So with this equation output of the first subsystem given by W of n, we realize the block diagram. There are how many number of delays? Capital M number of delays. So we write M number of blocks in cascade like this, and input to the first block is x of n. X of n and its delayed versions are here, and x of n minus 1 has to be multiplied by b1. X of n minus 2 has to be multiplied by b2. So we tap x of n minus 1 multiplied by b1, n minus 2 we tap it and multiply by b2. Continue like this, x of n minus m we multiply by bm. Taking two signals at a time to the adders, we add them, and at this point we have all the terms starting from b1 x of n minus 1 up to bm x of n minus m at this point. To this we add the first term which is b0 x of n, and we get the output w of n. That is our first subsystem h1 of z. So h2 of z, which is an all-pole system, is 1 over 1 plus sigma, that is equal to y of z by w of z. So again cross multiply, expand the summation, and we get y of z plus a1 y z power minus 1 y of z, etc. an z power minus n y of z, that is equal to w of z when I cross multiply this. So taking inverse Z transform of this equation, we get this, and we solve for the output of the second subsystem, which is y of n is equal to, bring all these terms to the right hand side, we have minus a1 y of n minus 1 minus a2 y of n minus 2, etc. minus an y of n minus n plus w of n. So we have y of n given by this, and let us realize this in the block diagram. So we have the output y of n and its delayed versions y of n minus 1, n minus 2, etc. And they have to be multiplied by the constants ak. So y of n minus 1 has to be multiplied by minus a1, n minus 2 has to be multiplied by minus a2. Like this, y of n minus capital N has to be multiplied by minus a suffix capital N. So taking two signals at a time is sum, and at this point we have all the terms starting from minus a1 y of n minus 1 up to minus an y of n minus n. To this we add w of n to get y of n as per this equation. This is the subsystem H2 of z. Next we connect these two subsystems in cascade to get the whole of the system H of z. So connect them in cascade like this. So we get h1 of z into h2 of z, which is equal to h of z. So how many number of memory locations are required? How many adders and multipliers are required to realize this? So number of memory locations depends on how many previous inputs and previous outputs have to be stored. Here you observe that previous inputs are x of n minus 1 up to n minus capital M. So there are capital M number of previous inputs and capital N number of previous outputs, and in addition we also have to store one intermediate signal W of N. So memory locations requirement is N plus M plus 1. So M plus N plus 1. Multipliers. Here we have starting from B1 to Bm, capital M number of multipliers plus one more for this B0, so M plus 1. And here we have capital N number of multipliers. So total multipliers are M plus N plus 1. And number of adders are, here we require capital M numbers and here we require capital N numbers. So total adders are M plus N. So to realize it in direct form 1, we need this. This is the memory and computational requirements. So next, let us take the direct form 2. Consider the same transfer function h of z in the pole 0 form, and again divide it into two subsystems in cascade, h1 of z and h2 of z. But while choosing h1 of z and h2 of z, we reverse the conditions here. So h1 of z, we take it as all pole system, and h2 of z as all zero system. So like this, h1 of z now is 1 over 1 plus all poles of this h of z, and h2 of z consisting of all zeros of this h of z. So h1 of z, which is w of z by x of z, is all poles of this 1 over this. So expand this denominator, cross multiply and solve for w of n. So our w of n will be equal to minus a1 w of n minus 1 minus a2 w of n minus 1, etc. Last term is an w of n minus capital N plus x of n. And h2 of z is y of z by w of z, which is all zeros like this. Again, expand the summation, cross multiply and solve for y of n, output of the second subsystem, which is b0 w of n plus b1 w of n minus 1, etc. bm w of n minus m. So we have the two output equations, output of the first subsystem, which is w of n, output of the second subsystem, which is y of n. We observe here that both of them are having same signal, which is delayed, common in both the equation, that is w of n and its delays. So what we do is, we first take w of n, assume that we know w of n, and from that tap it and connect it to a delay element to get w of n minus 1, n minus 2, etc. And here I am assuming that m is less than or equal to n. For all practical systems, the transfer function must have the condition that the numerator polynomial must be having a degree either less than the denominator or at the most equal to that of the denominator. So m is the numerator polynomial degree and n is the denominator polynomial degree. Only then we can realize that system practically. It is a practically realizable system. So here I have assumed that m is less than n. So we have n, which is greater, more number of delays to the input side, and here we have less number of delay elements added. So we observe here the first equation is added with the input x of n. With the input x of n, I am adding minus a1 w of n minus 1 minus a2 w of n minus 2, etc. minus an w of n minus capital N. All these added together with x of n, I get w of n. that is h1 of z. Then from second equation, b naught w of n directly multiplied by b naught plus b1 w of n minus 1, b2 w of n minus 2, etc. bm w of n minus m. All these added together to get y of n. So how many memories are required? Memory depends on the number of input and output previous values of this to be stored. So if we have different numbers for this numerator and denominator degrees, maximum of that will give you the memory requirements. So maximum of n comma m will be the number of memory locations required, and number of multipliers as before, it is m plus n plus 1, and number of adders are m plus n. So there is no change in number of multipliers and adders, but there is a considerable decrease in the number of memory locations that are required. So h2 of z is to the right of this and h1 of z is to the left of this. So let us take two examples so that we will understand how to realize it in direct forms 1 and 2. Here are two examples. First one is having y of n is equal to 2r cos omega naught y of n minus 1 minus r square cos omega naught y of n minus 2 plus xn, where 2r cos omega naught are all constants. And in the second one, y of n is minus 0.1 y of n minus 1 plus 0.2 y of n minus 2 plus 3 x of n plus 3.6 x of n minus 1 plus etc. So let us take the first example. So taking z transform on both the sides, I get y of z is equal to 2r cos omega naught. Z power minus 1 y of z is the z transform of this y of n minus 1, and z power minus 2 y of z is z transform of this r square cos omega naught plus x of z. So from this I get the transfer function of the first equation y of z by x of z given by 1 over this much, which I'm going to divide into two subsystems, h1 of z and h2 of z. h1 of z must be all zero system, h2 must be all pole system to realize it in direct form 1. So h1 of z, I am taking only the numerator of this equation, which is just 1. So from that I get w of h1 of z is equal to w of z by x of z, which is equal to 1. Taking inverse z transform, I get w of n is equal to x of n. So this is a typical example where you don't have any zeros here, but still it is an IIR filter having only poles. There may be confusions in obtaining the block diagram of this. And next, coming to h2 of z, which is having on poles, which is y of z divided by w of z given by this, cross multiplying and expanding and taking inverse z transform, we solve the y of n is equal to minus 2r cos omega naught y of n minus 1 r plus r square cos omega naught y of n minus 2 plus omega n. Here the sign has to be, this has to be plus and this has to be negative. This is plus and this is negative. So with that, we have the two output equations, output of the first subsystem, which is Wn is equal to x of n, and output of the second subsystem, saying we change the sign of this. So these are the two equations. From this we write the block diagram. For the first equation, it is x of n is equal to w of n. This itself is the h1 of z. And second system, h2 of z is realizing from this y of n delayed to get y of n minus 1, and that is multiplied by plus 2r cos omega naught, and y of n minus 2 is multiplied by minus r square cos of omega naught. Okay, so this is the direct form 1 realization of the system. So h1 of z is having only 0, which is just 1, and h2 of z. Next, coming to direct form 2 realization. H2 of z is given by y of z by w of z. H2 of z is y of by w of z. This is all zero system now. So that is equal to 1 from the equation. And H1 of z is all pole system, which is given by 1 over the denominator. Now taking this, cross multiplying and solving for w of z, we get this w of n is equal to minus 2 r cos omega naught w of n minus 1. Again, there is a mistake here. Okay, plus x of n. So writing this in block diagram. So the w of n is known to us, that is taken, and w of n minus 1 and n minus 2 are derived. W of n minus 1 is multiplied by 2 r cos omega naught, and w of n minus 2 by minus r square cos omega naught. They are added with x of n to get w of n, and y of n itself is w of n. This is h2 of z. Coming to the second problem, y of n is equal to so much. Take the z transform and collect all the y of z and x of z terms and take the ratio y of z to x of z. Then we get numerator as 3 plus 3.6 z power minus 1, 0.6 z power minus 2, and denominator as 1 plus 0.1 z power minus 1 minus 0.2 z power minus 2. Now we have to split this into h1 of z and h2 of z, and for direct form we must choose h1 of z as all zero system. All zeros means the numerator, that is 3 plus 3.6 z power minus 1 plus 0.6 z power minus 2 whole divided by 1. That is our h1 of z. That's our h1 of z, and all poles 1 over the denominator. This is our h2 of z. So this is our h1 of z, this is our h2 of z. So from h1 of z, cross multiply and take the inverse z transform and solve for the output of the first system, that is w of n, which is equal to 3x of n plus 3.6 x of n minus 1 plus 0.6 x of n minus 2. And from the second h2 of z, which is all pole system, y of z by w of z, taking cross multiplying and taking inverse z transform and solving for y of n, we get minus 0.1 y of n minus 1 plus 0.2 y of n minus 2 plus w of n. So this is realized as x of n multiplied by 3, then x of n minus 1 after the delay element multiplied by 3.6, and another delay x of n minus 2 multiplied by 0.6. All these are added to get w of n. Then coming to this y of n, this y of n minus 1 and n minus 2 are derived. Then y of n minus 1 is multiplied by minus 0.1 and this is multiplied by 0.2, and all these are added to w of n to get y of n, and that is h2 of z. Both h1 and h2 are connected in cascade like this to get h of z. That is the direct form 1 realization. To get the direct form 2 realization, just interchange the roles of this h1 and h2. Now h1 is all pole system and h2 is all zero system. So h1 is 1 over the denominator, which is w of z by x of z, and h2 is y of z by w of z, which is the numerator. So again from this relation 1, cross multiply and take the inverse z transform, we get w of n, that is output of the first subsystem, as minus 0.1 w of n minus 1 plus 0.2 w of n minus 2 plus xn. And from in the relation 2, we solve for the output y of n given by 3 w of n plus 3.6 w of n minus 1 and 0.6 w of n minus 2. So these are the two equations which give the output of the first subsystem and output of the second subsystem. So from these two, we observe here that w and its delay elements are the common for these two equations. So from w of n, assuming that initially we know it, tap it and delay it, so that we have w of n minus 1 and w of n minus 2 as required by these two equations. Then multiply w of n minus 1 by minus 0.1 and n minus 2 by plus 0.2, add it along with x of n to get w of n. Then on the other side, to get y of n, 3w of n plus 3.6 wn minus 1, 0.6 wn minus 2 to add all the 3 to get y of n. So to this side we have h2 of z, to the left side we have h1 of z. So here I have here in this problem m is equal to n. That is why the figure is looking like this. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Download link is given in the description box, and if you have any comment, leave it in the comment box. Thank you. See you next time.